Good morning. Welcome back to Delmarva. Hello from Shorebilly Farmer. We're getting a little bit of a late start today. I'm going to play Super Trucker right off the bat. But the reason we're getting a late start is our contracts weren't open. Yeah, so what I mean by that, our contracts not being open yet, our contracts are done on a monthly basis. And we had only pulled out a couple contracts for September, or actually Eugene had only pulled a couple out in September. So we can only fill those contracts. We had to wait for October to open up our October contract. So the truck has been sitting full, just waiting for the contracts to open us for us to take them down to the mill. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play Super Trucker, get the truck to the mill first thing this morning, and then we'll be, by the time we're back, the dew should pretty well be burned off. As you can see, the truck has still got quite a bit of water left on it. But that sun will get up. There's already a decent breeze. It's supposed to be lower humidity today, somewhere around 70%, 75%. So to get rid of all that, and we'll be cutting corn in no time. So let me take my, I think it's like a 60-mile round trip down to Snow Hill, Maryland, and we'll be back up here cutting corn. Well, the truck didn't drive itself to the mill. That's disappointing. Thought we trained it better than that, but guess we'll just do it. You never know who's been in here playing around. He's napping. That's just be free, little one. Don't think he wanted to leave. Alright, well, we're down here just waiting to get probed. I'm waiting to go there. Get your minds out of the gutter. Beans are going to be ready in probably 2, maybe 3 weeks. The only spots in them that's really left green are the spots that we replanted. The rest of them's drying down pretty quick. So maybe 3 weeks, we'll be cutting soybeans. So we got a boogie on this corn. So one of the things that we're constantly fighting is header loss. And that's basically where the corn cob comes down to the header, hits it, and busts some of the kernels off. Now, I think it's if you have 3 or 4 kernels per square foot on the ground, you're only losing a bushel of corn to the acre. However, we don't want to lose anything, right? So, depending on the moisture of the corn, you can minimize your header loss depending on how fast you run and how high you run the head up underneath the ear. Because the ear doesn't have to travel as far before it hits the head. And essentially, when you drive faster, it's not giving the ear a chance to really feed around on the gathering chains. The ear is basically forced into the head faster, forced up in the trunk, or the auger takes it into the throat. And it gets worse and worse with drier and drier corn. Now that load went 16.9, so I would assume, because we've had nice dry days, that we are probably now drier than that. I would assume maybe around 16 even, which is great, because that means the mill is not docking as much. However, there's a fine balance there when you start running into things like header loss. Because the drier it gets, the more loss you have. So you just got to compensate by running faster. And there's no sense in getting up underneath these tree limbs and tearing something up if we don't have to. But if there's corn there, we'll try to get it. Just be more cognizant of what the surroundings are. That's a big word, cognizant. My mental acuity must be good today. Another big word. Mama, I'm going home, going to bed. I've done said 2 smart words today. I can go home now. Now somewhere in here, I believe there's a downed tree limb. Maybe we cleaned that up. Maybe we cleaned that up already. But you're not going to harvest underneath that. So we'll spin around and come in the other way on that. Nom 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 nom. one thing you notice as I'm running down these end rows, see how it's just corn everywhere, and that's where you overlap from the point row. So you got the end row running this way, and the main part of the field, the planter's going to overlap because it's 30 foot wide for a good swath. See, it's clean here, and then you're right back into overlap. But what happens if you look at our sample back here? You see there's a bunch of chaff in there. So you see there's a bunch of chaff in the sample, and the reason for that is the volume of corn goes down, and you're pulling in all of this chaff, all of this stalk and leaf residue, and the combine's just basically getting overloaded with that, and not good healthy corn. So your sample gets dirty. There's no sense in really trying to adjust the machine for that because it only happens on the end row. But it's one of those things you got to keep in mind when you're doing this, when you keep looking back at your sample is, why is it dirty? What's wrong with the combine? There's nothing wrong with the combine. It's just because when you have that many plants stacked on top of each other, the corn ears get really small, and you're not putting as much corn in. Oh yeah, it's like watching little pennies disappear and go to the bank. Blah, blah. Flying super trucker again. Second trip of the day. All right, truck number 2 is at the mill, and I've got 45 minutes to load another truck, and I can make it back to the mill and deliver a third load today, which would be, I think, a record. So we'll see. I'm gobbling through some corn. It's doing pretty good. I mean, we're cruising. Almost 5 miles an hour, and we're not showing any grain loss. So anyway, we're going to try to grind through this and get that truck loaded so I can get back to the mill, and then I can load the truck again before it gets dark. That would be awesome. By the way, that last load of corn I took went 16%. So we are 0.5% away from being at that break-even point of moisture, where they don't dock you for moisture, but once you get too dry, then you actually start losing money. So it's time that this needs to come out, because if it goes below 15.5, then you're just giving up bushels. You're giving it to them, because the drier it is, the lighter it is, and then you're basically giving them money. So we don't want to do that. I'm very surprised. I mean, I keep an eye on header loss. I can see right behind the header down here. You see right behind it there and there. And it's not really hard to see kernels of corn that are on the ground. So by running faster like this, we're not throwing anything out the back. We got everything opened up. The sieves and the concave are set just right. And our header loss, for being as dry as it is really almost non-existent. I mean, it looks very good. I'm happy with the way everything's running. Shouldn't say that too loud, because something might break. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can't push through this and absolutely boogie, get this done. Load number 1. 3 more to go, that truck will be full. And I've got 35 minutes to do it. I think we can do this. The corn's yielding good, so it don't take long to get a bin full. Maybe 10 minutes. So I think we can make it. You just never get a full hopper near the truck. You're always at the far end of the field when you get a full hopper. I would like to say that, you know, it's just, it averages out. Sometimes it happens near the truck, sometimes it doesn't, but I'd have to say 80 to 90% of the time, you're on the other end of the field when the hopper's full. This is where having a grain cart and a grain cart operator would be real nice. Load 3. We got 10 minutes to load the truck, or load the combine back, load the truck, and get on the road. And we should be down there before 5 o'clock. We'll see. That's it. Number 4. I'm 5 minutes later than I wanted to be, but that's okay. It takes me about 40 minutes to get down there. I should be there about 10 minutes prior to close. As long as you're in line, they'll take you. So, woo! That was a push. I still got to unload. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, go, go. That car right there was in such a hurry as I'm coming around the turn to come onto the highway. They had to go in the opposite lane and speed around in front of me and cause me to slow down. If you're watching the channel, understand one thing if you don't already understand it. These trucks weigh 40 tons. Hey, that's 80,000 pounds. We can't stop on a dime. If something would have happened, if his car would have malfunctioned or something would have happened, I would not have had enough time to slow down without running him over and killing him. Slow down. I can't say it enough. You saw in the spring, our tractor got ran into, or our planter did. Neighbor sprayer got ran into. They've already had 2 or 3 combines throughout the country be run into because people are in such a hurry. And that right there is the cause of it. It's people like that that think the road is for them and them alone. All right, end to end. We're on the road. Super trucker engaged. It's gonna be a pretty sunset. And we'll get to see it from inside the combine. So we got about another hour, because I gotta open up some end rows, which takes time, but we got about another hour here in the combine. And we'll be done for the night, because the trucks will be full. That's something you come to expect when you live on Delmarva. Beautiful sunsets like that. And good looking corn. All right, the time has come. I can see now. It's so illuminating. I can see the light. That's what we see, light. Trying to judge this at night is fun. Time to go. So as you can see, that was a very busy day here on Delmarva. A lot of jumping around, running around, a lot of moving parts to today. But hopefully tomorrow will go a little bit smoother, especially Eugene should be available tomorrow to help and move that 6-wheeler around too. So get 2 people going, things get a lot more efficient. So hopefully that will be tomorrow. Until then, thank you all for watching and goodbye from Delmarva. Shorebilly Farmer, out. What it is about nighttime that just makes you feel like you're going so much faster than what you've been doing all day, but going the same speed, 4.6 miles an hour, it just feels like you're flying. Midnight munchies maybe? Num 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 num. I know you can't see me, but I'm smiling.